A night behind which there is day. Jean Valjean turned round at the knock which he heard on his door. "Come in," he said feebly. The door opened. Cosette and Marius made their appearance. Cosette rushed into the room. Marius remained on the threshold, leaning against the jamb of the door. "Cosette," said Jean Valjean. And he sat erect in his chair, his arms outstretched and trembling, haggard, livid, gloomy, an immense joy in his eyes. Cosette, stifling with emotion, fell upon Jean Valjean's breast. "Father," said she. Jean Valjean, overcome, stammered. "Cosette." She. "You. Madam. It is thou. Ah! My God!" And, pressed close in Cosette's arms, he exclaimed. "It is thou! Thou art here! Thou dost pardon me then?" Marius, lowering his eyelids, in order to keep his tears from flowing, took a step forward and murmured between lips convulsively contracted to repress his sobs. "My father! And you also, you pardon me?" Jean Valjean said to him. Marius could find no words, and Jean Valjean added, "Thanks." Cosette tore off her shawl and tossed her hat on the bed. "It embarrasses me," said she. And, seating herself on the old man's knees, she put aside his white locks with an adorable movement, and kissed his brow. Jean Valjean, bewildered, let her have her own way. Cosette, who only understood in a very confused manner, redoubled her caresses, as though she desired to pay Marius' debt. Jean Valjean stammered. "How stupid people are! I thought that I should never see her again. Imagine, Monsieur Pontmercy, at the very moment when you entered, I was saying to myself, 'All is over. Here is her little gown, I am a miserable man, I shall never see Cosette again,' and I was saying that at the very moment when you were mounting the stairs. Was not I an idiot? Just see how idiotic one can be. One reckons without the good God. The good God says, 'You fancy that you are about to be abandoned, stupid. No. No, things will not go so. Come, there is a good man yonder who is in need of an angel.' And the angel comes, and one sees one's Cosette again. And one sees one's little Cosette once more. Ah! I was very unhappy." For a moment he could not speak, then he went on. "I really needed to see Cosette a little bit now and then. A heart needs a bone to gnaw. But I was perfectly conscious that I was in the way. I gave myself reasons. They do not want you, keep in your own course, one has not the right to cling eternally. Ah! God be praised, I see her once more. Dost thou know, Cosette, thy husband is very handsome? Ah! What a pretty embroidered collar thou hast on, luckily. I am fond of that pattern. It was thy husband who chose it, was it not? And then, thou shouldst have some cashmere shawls. Let me call her thou, Monsieur Pontmercy. It will not be for long." And Cosette began again. "How wicked of you to have left us like that! Where did you go? Why have you stayed away so long? Formerly your journeys only lasted 3 or 4 days. I sent Nicolette, the answer always was, 'He is absent.' How long have you been back? Why did you not let us know? Do you know that you are very much changed? Ah! What a naughty father! He has been ill, and we have not known it. Stay, Marius, feel how cold his hand is. So you are here. Monsieur Pontmercy, you pardon me," repeated Jean Valjean. At that word which Jean Valjean had just uttered once more, all that was swelling Marius' heart found vent. He burst forth. "Cosette, do you hear? He has come to that. He asks my forgiveness. And do you know what he has done for me, Cosette? He has saved my life. He has done more, he has given you to me. And after having saved me, and after having given you to me, Cosette, what has he done with himself? He has sacrificed himself. Behold the man! And he says to me the ingrate, to me the forgetful, to me the pitiless, to me the guilty one. Thanks. Cosette, my whole life passed at the feet of this man would be too little. That barricade, that sewer, that furnace, that cesspool, all that he traversed for me, for thee, Cosette. He carried me away through all the deaths which he put aside before me, and accepted for himself. Every courage, every virtue, every heroism, every sanctity he possesses. Cosette, that man is an angel. Hush! Hush! Said Jean Valjean in a low voice. Why tell all that? But you! Cried Marius with a wrath in which there was veneration, why did you not tell it to me? It is your own fault, too. You save people's lives, and you conceal it from them. You do more, under the pretext of unmasking yourself, you calumniate yourself. It is frightful. I told the truth, replied Jean Valjean. No, retorted Marius, the truth is the whole truth. And that you did not tell. You were Monsieur Madeleine, why not have said so? You saved Javert, why not have said so? I owed my life to you, why not have said so? Because I thought as you do. I thought that you were in the right. It was necessary that I should go away. If you had known about that affair, of the sewer, you would have made me remain near you. I was therefore forced to hold my peace. If I had spoken, it would have caused embarrassment in every way. It would have embarrassed what? Embarrassed whom? Retorted Marius. Do you think that you are going to stay here? We shall carry you off. Ah! Good heavens! When I reflect that it was by an accident that I have learned all this. You form a part of ourselves. You are her father, and mine. You shall not pass another day in this dreadful house. Do not imagine that you will be here tomorrow. Tomorrow, said Jean Valjean, I shall not be here, but I shall not be with you. What do you mean? Replied Marius. Ah! Come now, we are not going to permit any more journeys. You shall never leave us again. You belong to us. We shall not loose our hold of you. This time it is for good, added Cosette. We have a carriage at the door. I shall run away with you. If necessary, I shall employ force. And she laughingly made a movement to lift the old man in her arms. Your chamber still stands ready in our house, she went on. If you only knew how pretty the garden is now. The azaleas are doing very well there. The walks are sanded with river sand. There are tiny violet shells. You shall eat my strawberries. I water them myself. And no more madam, no more Monsieur Jean, we are living under a republic, everybody says thou, don't they, Marius? The program is changed. If you only knew, father, I have had a sorrow. There was a robin redbreast which had made her nest in a hole in the wall, and a horrible cat ate her. My poor, pretty, little robin redbreast which used to put her head out of her window and look at me. I cried over it. I should have liked to kill the cat. But now nobody cries any more. Everybody laughs, everybody is happy. You are going to come with us. How delighted grandfather will be. You shall have your plot in the garden. You shall cultivate it, and we shall see whether your strawberries are as fine as mine. And, then, I shall do everything that you wish, and then, you will obey me prettily. Jean Valjean listened to her without hearing her. He heard the music of her voice rather than the sense of her words. One of those large tears which are the sombre pearls of the soul welled up slowly in his eyes. He murmured. The proof that God is good is that she is here. Father, said Cosette. Jean Valjean continued. It is quite true that it would be charming for us to live together. Their trees are full of birds. I would walk with Cosette. It is sweet to be among living people who bid each other good day, who call to each other in the garden. People see each other from early morning. We should each cultivate our own little corner. She would make me eat her strawberries. I would make her gather my roses. That would be charming. Only. He paused and said gently. It is a pity. The tear did not fall, it retreated, and Jean Valjean replaced it with a smile. Cosette took both the old man's hands in hers. My God! Said she, your hands are still colder than before. Are you ill? Do you suffer? No, replied Jean Valjean. I am very well. Only. He paused. Only what? I am going to die presently. Cosette and Marius shuddered. To die? Exclaimed Marius. Yes, but that is nothing, said Jean Valjean. He took breath, smiled and resumed. Cosette, thou wert talking to me, go on, so thy little robin redbreast is dead? Speak, so that I may hear thy voice. Marius gazed at the old man in amazement. Cosette uttered a hair-trending cry. Father! My father! You will live! You are going to live! I insist upon your living, do you hear? Jean Valjean raised his head towards her with adoration. Oh! Yes, forbid me to die. Who knows? Perhaps I shall obey. I was on the verge of dying when you came. That stopped me, it seemed to me that I was born again. You are full of strength and life, cried Marius. Do you imagine that a person can die like this? You have had sorrow, you shall have no more. It is I who ask your forgiveness, and on my knees. You are going to live, and to live with us, and to live a long time. We take possession of you once more. There are two of us here who will henceforth have no other thought than your happiness. You see, resumed Cosette, all bathed in tears, that Marius says that you shall not die. Jean Valjean continued to smile. Even if you were to take possession of me, Monsieur Pontmercy, would that make me other than I am? No, God has thought like you and myself, and he does not change his mind. It is useful for me to go. Death is a good arrangement. God knows better than we what we need. May you be happy, may Monsieur Pontmercy have Cosette, may youth wed the morning, may there be around you, my children, lilacs and nightingales. May your life be a beautiful, sunny lawn, may all the enchantments of heaven fill your souls, and now let me, who am good for nothing, die. It is certain that all this is right. Come, be reasonable, nothing is possible now, I am fully conscious that all is over. And then, last night, I drank that whole jug of water. How good thy husband is, Cosette! Thou art much better off with him than with me. A noise became audible at the door. It was the doctor entering. Good day, and farewell, doctor, said Jean Valjean. Here are my poor children.